Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 3rd June 2022. In my two previous videos or three previous videos, I said that the date was July. No, it is June 2022. My name is trsv Raghavan and I am a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. Today, in our continuation of discussions about causal intelligence and genius and the examples thereof, we shall talk about yet another very important example. This person is known as Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. This guy was born in a northern metropolis in India. He was the son of a very well renowned poet, Dr. Harivansh Bachchan. Amitabh, as expected, was a good student who did his graduation and then joined a shipping company in a place called Kolkata in India. In the year 1969, he left his job and came back to Allahabad and then went to Bombay at the age of 27 to try his luck in the career of acting in the film industry of Bombay. Here, he began struggling immediately after, and then, after some time, he met another friend or actor called Mr. Rajesh Khanna. We have already talked about Mr. Rajesh Khanna in my previous video. Mr. Khanna was already a superstar when Mr. Amitabh Bachchan met him. However, thanks to one very intelligent and talented director called Mr. Rishikesh Mukherjee, both Mr. Rajesh Khanna and Mr. Amitabh Bachchan did two films together. Both these films, as expected, became memorable films and blockbusters. They were known as Anand and Namak Haram. During this period, Mr. Amitabh was going steady with one girl and Mr. Rajesh Khanna was going steady with another. However, due to excessive success which he could not digest, Mr. Rajesh Khanna became a megalomaniac and he sincerely started thinking that he was God's answer to India. This was a mistake. When a person thinks that he is God's incarnate, God takes all the strings of this puppet and pulls him back to his world. In other words, a person, when he thinks that he has become too big for his boots, God shows him his or her place. This Mr. Rajesh Khanna, who was now a megalomaniac, decided that he can do no wrong. When he hooked up with his girlfriend in the 1960s, genius crept into his life through that girlfriend, something that nobody could understand then. Mr. Rajesh Khanna, who was now a superstar, decided that he can ditch this girl and marry another girl who was beautiful and 16 years his junior. Mr. Rajesh Khanna, as expected, ditched this girl. As soon as he did this, genius unscrupulously or scrupulously or indefatigably left him and joined Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. As soon as this happened, undeniably Mr. Amitabh Bachchan realized that now he had become a star and Mr. Rajesh Khanna's stars were waning. He was worried and he found to his dismay that this had happened because of Mr. Rajesh Khanna becoming too big for his boots and because of his ditching a very well deserving girlfriend. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan learned his lessons from Mr. Rajesh Khanna's his bad decisions. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan decided that he should not do what Mr. Rajesh Khanna did, or his demeanor he should not repeat. So Mr. Amitabh Bachchan married the girl who he was going steady with, and then he decided not to ditch her ever. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan became a bigger star than Mr. Rajesh Khanna had ever become. Mr. Rajesh Khanna was called the phenomenon, whereas Mr. Amitabh Bachchan became a mega star. For another 8 or 10 years, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan gave some 27 golden jubilees, and he became what was known as a one-man industry. Even after that, though Mr. Amitabh Bachchan reduced his own film assignments, he remained a superstar all his life, and he is still a superstar, unlike Mr. Rajesh Khanna, who was reduced to becoming just an ordinary actor. Actually, this shows that when a person is in the orbit of causal intelligence, he or she has his or her head firmly on his or her shoulders, and they do not try to act over smart. However, when because of destiny they make a slip from that particular orbit to the lower orbit of astral mind or etheric senses, the genius which had earlier possessed them when they were in the causal intelligence orbit leaves them without any compunction. Hence, if a person wants to relish his or her genius and to achieve several things in life, he or she should always be in the orbit of causal intelligence so that genius possesses him or her. This person should never slip back to astral mind or etheric senses. Instead, he or she should progress further and go into another orbit of soul or super soul. That is all for the present in this particular video. Kindly subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I can keep reminding you of my other videos. Till we meet next time in my next video, it is good day from TSV Raghavan.